He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is such an interesting 80s property, as what started off as just toys of fantasy characters spawned this entire multimedia franchise. Even though it was before my time, I did watch the Filmation animated series as a child, although revisiting it as an adult makes it clear what a cheap production it was, and how much of it was a blatant toy commercial. I do like the recent additions to the franchise, especially the She-Ra and the Princess of Power series, and with Travis Knight having directed my favorite Transformers movie, Bumblebee, I was definitely curious to see how he would tackle this new film version of Masters of the Universe. While this hardly breaks any new ground, there's a goofy spirit to the whole thing that I appreciated. The filmmakers managed to strike that balance of embracing the silliness of He-Man, but not in a mocking way. This is the kind of movie that realizes that Skeletor is your stereotypical cackling villain, and they lean into that with his actions and the way he taunts He-Man and acts around his subjects, although also does not shy away from the damage he does to Eternia. The same goes for his henchwoman, Evil-lyn, played in a scene-stealing performance by Alison Brie. Brie looks like she's having the time of her life, and she finds the perfect reactions to Skeletor's remarks. Everyone involved seems to recognize the right tone to take this property. As for Prince Adam, aka He-Man, I thought Nicholas Galitzine made him into a likable and charming hero. The idea of Adam being sent off to Earth as a child and then trying to return back to Eternia was a good one, and it does tie into the childlike sense of wonder longtime fans have for this franchise. And while they do a bit of the fish out of water thing as he tries to find his place in Eternia again, they don't waste a lot of time before having him lift up the sword and say that catchphrase. The pacing does slow down a tad as the heroes regroup and try to figure out their plan, giving us the usual conversations that don't delve too deeply into these characters. Adam and Man-at-Arms have something like 5 heart-to-heart conversations throughout the movie, which start to feel the same and just come across as something to do before the action revs up again. But when we do get the action, Knight directs those sequences with plenty of energy. Yes, they involve a lot of punching and computer-generated figures jumping around, but there is a bit of creativity in the fighting moves. Money has also clearly been spent on the various creatures that reside in Eternia, both good and bad. On a storytelling level, Masters of the Universe hardly does anything revolutionary. If you've seen any sort of summer blockbuster the past number of years, especially the ones produced by Marvel Studios, you have a general idea of what this movie might be like. However, the film has a solid sense of humor about itself, and the charm of the characters does rub off on the whole thing. Much like a few of the recent entries, the filmmakers behind this have taken these one-note toys and given them a decent amount of personality, and I was invested in this battle to take back the kingdom from this evil skeleton man and his witchy henchwoman.